Page 72, Rhapsody. The top of the page is another musical indication, a mark. Has to do with articulation. It's called a tenuto. It's a little line that can be above or below a note. That's all it is. If you look in the first full measure of this piece and that lower staff, you get first note, first chord is staccato, and the second one is this tenuto. There's a difference of opinion on what tenuto means. It's usual difference of opinion on everything. You see, a long time ago, hundreds of years ago, tenuto, that little line, was meant as an accent. And then they brought in the accent marks, and this, somehow it got to mean hold it out the full value. Linger on the note is what they're saying. But some people still treat it as an accent. I don't. I treat it on linger on the note. They're saying you give it extra emphasis, and you have to be careful with the emphasis thing. It's not an accent. You might play it a little louder, but you feel it. In this piece, they're coming on the natural accent, because the natural accent in 4/4 time is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's coming on beat 3, so you're going to do it anyway. You don't need the tenuto for emphasis. The natural accent takes care of that, but it comes in handy to hold it out the full quarter note and maybe just a hair longer. Just don't cut it short is what they're saying. Now, some publishers will use the tenuto marks to indicate where the melody is, because the melody might get buried and you got notes above and below and all things going on. The melody could get buried, and they can indicate the melody with tenuto marks, and I've seen that. Meaning you'd play those with a little emphasis because you want to bring out the melody. So let's look this over. It's 2 pages long. Treble bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. We are in the key of E minor. That's what we're studying. So do the scales in arpeggios for G major and E minor. 4/4 time, right hand first, we have a pickup beat, 4 and 1. You don't need all these other finger numbers going around. I hate that. Just 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and just cross over. That's okay. You're not really changing positions because we need a thumb again. 1 and... Another way of fingering it would be, instead of 1, start on 2, and you don't need 2. If you don't want to do that, then start on 3. You could do that, and you don't have to cross over the thumb. Nice practice to cross over the thumb, though. We can use it, because you got to get comfortable with it and do it without looking at the keyboard eventually. Now, measure 4, you got 1 beat rest to come up here. We do it again. And you can use the same fingering here as you did at the beginning. So if you started with 3, start with 3. It's actually a little bit easier, especially in measure 4. If you play that half note with the thumb, you're almost where you need to go. You're not going very far. Now, if you are using the fingering in the book, in measure 7, then when you cross over for the D sharp, stay there and go 3 and end up on 3. I don't want to end up on 1 on measure 8 because I need 1 again here. I'm out of place. I don't want to do that. So just stay there. That way 3. Now my thumb's ready to go on. So I've changed hand positions on repeated notes. And for measure 11, I recommend you, for the set, you do a 5-2 or 2-5, so I can do a 1-4 on the next one. I can connect them. I'd like to connect the top note if I can. Measure 13, but I can't because I got to play the bottom note. So what I'm going to do is a 5-1, another 5-1. Now I can do a 1-4, 1-3, and then 1-2. I can connect that. Those notes. I just can't connect that. So it's here. And the thumb does the bottom. That's what I'm going to recommend. I'm complicating this a little bit to help you get ready for some more difficult music coming, because I want to connect this melody with the fingers if I can. The fingering in the book is okay. That's just a different style of fingering, and that's not the one I care for. I want to feel my way, and I want to feel this melody, and I can't feel it if I'm using the same finger. And then they do the... Now for measure 16, the notes are here, but it has an 8 VA above the staff, so now we got to go up. We have rest, you got time to come up here. 1, 2. And here it's the quarter notes that are measure 21. Here you can use 1/5 on all these because you can walk down. And in measure 23, that D sharp is tied. Hang on to it. Just hold it down while you add the B to it. Here. And if you don't want to be up in here, then use second finger. I don't know how big your hands are. And then lift up and go on. Down here. The last line there is scale. If you're doing the scale 2 octaves, then you already can feel that it should be fairly comfortable to you. Now at the end here on the scale, if you have a short keyboard, you don't have the notes, then you just have to play the scale in the same place twice. In that case, use little finger on the E in measure 32, so you can come down and do it again. You have to do it in the same place twice. Now, if you do have the notes, then go ahead and play it up there a second time. Left hand is chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chord. Recognize these chords. It makes it easier to play them. Get down to measure 9. It's chords, but now it's broken chords. It's here, but it's broken. Just the chords. So put the hands together. It's here. 1. Now make sure you lift up the left hand when you play the 8th notes. So I go through and I put the hands together, and then I'll go back over it a few measures at a time, slowly, and work out the hesitations. And once the hesitations are gone, then I add the articulation. The melody's connected. Lift up. And you have to lift up for the rest. But the left hand is staccato, flex at the wrist, short staccato. And then hang on to that, actually linger on it. In other words, right when you play that, the 8th note, lift up. Now on measure 9 here in the left hand, slur all of those together. Don't separate them. No, those are slurs. Slur all that together. Yeah. There's at the very bottom, the last chord has an accent on it. Play it a little louder. I don't think you need an accent on the chord because it's already fortissimo. You just play it loud. Let the wrist clasp a little bit. Don't pound on the keyboard. It just goes down very quickly with a lot of weight is all. Let the wrist clasp a little bit. Then the dynamics. Apply to the melody. Your right hand, loud. Whatever you think loud is. This, back in the background somewhere. Stay there until measure 9. You come down. That MP, that belongs on the quarter note. That's the pickup. That's moderately soft. And this is way in the background. Measure 16. MF, come up a little bit to moderately loud. Here, it's soft. And then this. Here, you can do the 2-note slurs here. Ba-da, ba-da. And the left hand's tied. All those notes are tied all the way across. And the fermata measure 24, just hang on to that, what feels right. If I do it with a metronome, I'll double it to 4 counts instead of 2. And then we go on. Moderately loud, like left hand is soft. Then in the last line, you're going to go from moderately loud up to very loud for the last note. Take your time Because if you don't, you'll be loud by measure 32. That's too soon. That's sort of just a hair louder and then go on. Staccato, well, that won't be staccato because the way the piano's built. There's no staccato there, but you play staccato, and then very loud. Yeah. Then the speed. Well, allegro, it needs to be accurate. You find the hardest part in it, wherever that is. I'm guessing somewhere around measure 13, 14 along in there. And what can you do accurately? And that'll be your allegro for now. See, that's not the speed they're suggesting. They're going really fast. In fact, their speed is slightly more than allegro, I think. But you'll have to go that fast. Now, on top of all that, they've added pedal. Well, I do it just fine without pedal. And I learn it without pedal. So when I add pedal, I have more freedom on how I would need to use it. I'm not relying on the pedal for things where the finger should be doing it. And I need to hear the difference. What effect is the pedal having? Why are we using the pedal? First, we'll do it the way it's suggested and see what it sounds like. They start using it at measure 9. And it's overlapping pedal, it's lag. Note first, then the pedal. And that's the pedal. And if you're okay with it, fine, use it that way. I don't care for it too much. I'll make a couple little adjustments. Here, at the beginning. On this kind of a thing, I really don't want all that. That's too mushy for me. I don't care for it. It doesn't last long, which is nice, but it's still too mushy. It'd have to go a lot faster. There, if I took it up to speed, I might get away with it. So if I take it up to speed, it kind of works. But if I take it slower and I have more time to hear the notes, it's yucky. So in that case, on measure 9, 10, I'm going to lift up on the 4th beat and just clear it out. Because I can connect this and this. So I'm just... And on the measure 13 and 14, I'd have to pedal it every 2 beats to keep the melody clean. There. If I don't take it up to speed, I got to adjust the pedal accordingly. That's sort of what it is. Now measure 18 here. Now this isn't overlapped here. We want to hear the beat. We want to hear the rest. And again on measure 20, lift the pedal up. I want to hear the rest. Here, and then if you want to hear the slurs, you want to hear silence, lift the pedal up with the right hand each time. Here. You decide, your teacher will decide on the pedaling. Just don't feel locked into this pedaling. Listen to what you like and your interpretation is and what you want out of the pedal. Don't pedal any of this other stuff because it would only mess it up. That would blur it up. You'd lose the staccato and you'd start blurring it up. So don't pedal anything else. If you would like, on the last chord, you can pedal that because you're holding it out, it's loud, and we can add the overtones to that. So one of the things we use pedal for is to give the longer held notes overtones, color, and so you can do that on that last chord, especially since it's loud. If it were really soft, I don't know that I'd want to color it too much. But loud, yeah, you can use pedal there. On measure 21, there's a retardando. You're going to slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit. And then the odd tempo at the end of measure 24 means take off again. Yeah. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing the dynamics. We're not performing it, and I can't slow down. I'm going to hold the half note fermata 4 counts instead of 2, and I'll give us 4 counts. All right, give us 3 counts to come in because we come in on beat 4. 1, ready, and go, and 1, and 1, and. Rest.